Take a long, hard look at the warrior on your screen. You see the gray around the muzzle. You see the calloused scars of 1,000 confrontations. We call him the Silent King, a Xiasi legend who has stared into the abyss of death and refused to blink. But let's be brutally honest, because at Pawble, the truth is the only currency we deal in.
Before we strip down the profiles of the top contenders, I need the pack to stand together. We are approaching our 1-year anniversary this May, and our mission is to reach 10,000 subscribers. If you've been moved by the resilience of these dogs, if you respect the legacy of King Charles, then show your support. Hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and share this video. Join the Pawble membership to support the work we do. Your loyalty is the only reason we can document this journey.
Every legend has an ending. It's the question that haunts the quiet hours at the Hebei Shelter. It's the thought we all push to the back of our minds because the reality is too heavy to carry. What happens when the Silent King is no longer here to hold the line? A crown is just a piece of metal, but a pack is a living, breathing machine that requires a heart to keep it from tearing itself apart. We've walked the dark path of Charles's health struggles together. We've prayed for his recovery, but time is the one rival no alpha can ever defeat. Today, we face the unthinkable. We are going to dissect the power vacuum. We are going to look at the titans who remain. If the worst were to happen, who would have the weight, the presence, and the raw spirit to keep the giants from each other's throats? Lean in, Pawble fam. This is the analysis of a world without its king.
Now, let's look at the candidates who would dare to touch the crown. First, we look at the one who stands closest to the throne, Thorne, the Iron General, the Black Sentinel, the Strength. Thorne is the manifestation of the king's will. He understands the architecture of order better than anyone because he helped build it. He has the size, the muscle, and the established respect of the pack. When Thorne barks, the yard listens, not just because of his voice, but because he carries the sovereign endorsement of Charles. A weakness. But here is the fatal flaw in Thorne's candidacy. Thorne is a soldier, not a sovereign. His entire identity is built on service. He is a weapon that requires a hand to hold it. Without Charles to provide the vision, Thorne might become a rudderless ship. He lacks that quiet, strategic alpha wisdom, the ability to de-escalate a fight before it even begins. The outlook. Under King Thorne, the Hebei Shelter would become a military state. Peace would be maintained through raw physical force. But the soul of the shelter, the mercy and the calm that Charles represents, might vanish. It would be an era of law, but a cold, heavy one. Could Thorne lead without a master? Or would he simply become a target for the next rebel?
Then we have the most complex figure in the yard, Rocky, the great rival. The facts. Make no mistake, Rocky is not a young pup. He is a veteran of the same era as King Charles. He is a titan who spent years refusing to bow. Their history is not one of mentor and student. It is a war of attrition between two kings. It took months of relentless discipline for Charles to finally secure Rocky's total surrender. The strength. Rocky has something Thorne lacks, the alpha ego. He knows what it's like to feel the weight of leadership. He has the charisma and the grit of an old world warrior. Now that he has submitted, he has learned the king's code from a position of equal strength. The weakness. But can a former rival truly be a successor? There is a Rocky paradox at play here. His submission was a strategic and spiritual defeat. But if Charles were to pass, would that old fire of rebellion reignite? Would Rocky see it as his rightful time to finally take what he was denied for years? The outlook. A Rocky reign would be intense. He would be a king who rules with a chip on his shoulder, constantly trying to prove he is as great as the one who defeated him. It could be a legendary era of strength, or it could be a volatile transition that splits the path between Charles' loyalists and Rocky's new order. Under Rocky, the throne would never be silent. It would be a throne of constant tension.
Now, we must discuss the nightmare, Flower Dog, the jester with a hidden blade. The strength, pure, terrifying physical advantage. FD is younger, faster, and more brutal than anyone else in the yard. In a world where the strongest rules, FD is the apex predator. The weakness, he is a social glitch. Flower Dog lacks the moral compass and the ancient pack code that Charles and Rocky hold so dear. FD doesn't lead, he dominates. He doesn't discipline, he bullies. He has no empathy for the weak and no respect for the veterans who built this shelter. The outlook. If Flower Dog takes the throne, the sanctuary burns. It would be total, unadulterated anarchy. The peace that Charles spent years building would be dismantled in a single afternoon. Under FD, the Hebei Shelter doesn't have a king, it has a tyrant. It would be a reign of chaos where only the most aggressive survive. This is the future every dog lover fears. But as we profile these contenders, we arrive at a heartbreaking realization that brings us back to the start. We can talk about Thorne's muscle, Rocky's veteran grit, or Flower Dog's raw power. But none of them possess the one thing that makes King Charles the king: the aura. You see, Charles isn't the leader because he can bite the hardest. He isn't the leader because he is the loudest. He is the leader because of his sovereign presence. He is the only dog in this world who can walk into a riot and stop it with a single, calm look. He is the only one who can rule 100 dogs without ever having to draw blood. When we ask who will replace him, the answer is a heavy, painful silence. No one can. You can replace a general like Thorne. You can replace a titan like Rocky. But you can never replace a legend. The curiosity we have about the future is tempered by the fear of what we will lose. King Charles is the heart of the Hebei Shelter, and without the heart, the body is just a shell. So, Pawble fam, knowing the strengths of Thorne, the history of Rocky, and the danger of Flower Dog,